Welcome to this explainer on the fallacy of the majority. In our modern lives, we're constantly bombarded by the noise of the crowd. We look left, we look right, and we see millions of people moving in one specific direction. Human nature tells us, hey, if everyone's doing it, it must be right. But what if it's not? What if the sheer volume of the crowd is actually a massive, incredibly dangerous trap? Okay, let's dive into this. Are you blindly following the crowd? It's a question we absolutely have to ask ourselves, especially today. We're living in an era of unprecedented social pressure, the rise of social media, trend chasing, the viral nature of ideas, and this overwhelming, inescapable herd mentality. It's all conditioned us to constantly seek validation from the masses. We're terrified of missing out or standing out for the wrong reasons. But we really need to pause and reflect. Are we moving with intention, or are we literally just drifting along with the current because it feels safe? To truly grasp the gravity of this concept, we can look to a divine source. This is the Arabic text of Surah Al-An'am, verse 116. It is a profound, timeless warning. I want you to just quiet your mind for a few seconds right now. Let the weight of this verse settle in before we translate it.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ لَوْ عَلِمْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ.
And this brilliantly illustrates an ancient yet incredibly relevant concept. The English translation reads, "And if you obey most of those upon the earth, they will mislead you from the way of Allah. They follow not except assumption, and they are not but falsifying." Notice the specific phrasing here, most of those upon the earth. It isn't talking about a few misguided individuals. It's explicitly addressing the vast majority of humanity. The verse makes a powerful argument. If you simply obey the majority, they will actively mislead you, precisely because they're just following assumption and guesswork. Let's see how this all builds in section 1, the meaning revealed.
What's really interesting about this is how the divine text connects directly to our daily lives. It defines the foundational way most people exist, which is through assumption. Assumption is defined here as the literal lifestyle of the majority, guessing and falsifying rather than relying on an ultimate truth. The text explicitly links following the majority to following mere assumptions. The crowd doesn't have divine guidance or absolute certainty, right? Instead, they run on fleeting trends and temporary opinions. So if you align your life with the majority, you're essentially building your entire existence on a really shaky foundation of guesses.
And that brings us to section 2, the trap of the majority. Let's pivot to our modern context for a second. Think about your smartphone, your social media feeds, and that low-key anxiety we all get about trying to fit in. We can break this herd mentality down into 3 realities. First, majorities can be wrong. Just because a million people believe something doesn't make it a fact. History is absolutely full of majorities being disastrously wrong. Second, popularity does not equal truth. We all suffer from this cognitive bias where we equate the sheer size of a crowd with the validity of where they're going. And third, blindly following trends leads astray. The more you obsess over fitting in with the earthly majority, the further you drift from your divine purpose. So the crucial point is understanding these 2 competing worlds. On one hand, we've got modern society metrics, views, likes, and trending opinions. These are fleeting, they're constantly changing, and ultimately, they're empty. Contrast that with divine metrics, the Quran, the Sunnah, and absolute truth. These are stationary, they are eternal. When you weigh the temporary illusion of modern success against a stationary divine reality, the text makes an incredibly compelling argument against trading your spiritual anchor for digital validation. Which leads us right into section 3, standing firm on truth. Applying everything we've looked at today isn't just some abstract discussion. It has to dictate our daily actions. The ultimate takeaway of this verse is this: stand firm on the truth and follow divine guidance, not the crowd. You have to consciously anchor yourself to your faith, totally regardless of the social cost. It means that even if you look around and realize you are the only one walking this path, even if you literally have to stand completely alone, you stand firm. Because standing alone upon the truth is infinitely better than being lost alongside the majority. I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Will you let the crowd compromise your deen, or will you stand alone for the truth? Think about your choices today. Your habits, your social feeds, where are you seeking your validation? It's time to choose your metric. If you found this breakdown valuable, and if this explainer helped you rethink the metrics of the crowd, please like, share, and follow for more. See you next time.